Multiplayer games, and more specifically smaller multiplayer games, in most cases have one chance to get it right, or they risk fading off into obscurity. Obviously, the bigger the game, the more room it has for error, and there are games with great redemption stories like Rainbow Six Siege that came out of the gate slow and slowly improved over time to an extremely healthy player base that it has today. But for every Rainbow Six, there are countless games that come out slow and die before we know it. Tons more indie games come out and die than I'll ever know, but even the big games can die from a slow start. Games like Battleborn and Lawbreakers over the past few years show that unless you come out with something players want to play, your game can and will die before you can fix the issues players have. And for every game that never makes a splash on the gaming scene, there are just as many that come out swinging and then quickly bleed players, either due to the honeymoon period wearing off, or in many cases poor decisions by the devs. If you followed the culling at all, this is a perfect example. Before Fortnite and Apex and even Blackout and countless other battle royales, the culling was one of the bigger battle royales. This was earlier in the genre's life, but at the time, with its unique take, the culling had a pretty healthy player base, and at one point reached a peak player base of roughly 12k, which obviously isn't Fortnite numbers, but for a small indie title it's pretty good. But after repeated missteps by the devs, the game slowly bred players until the devs moved on to the culling 2, which flopped terribly. And then they tried the Hail Mary of reverting the original culling back to the patch before all the dislike changes. This was to no avail though, as the game was as good as dead. Nerdslayer did an awesome video on the death of the culling, so look up his video if you want more details on the story. So that brings us to today's topic of the video, Splitgate. If you've been following or playing Splitgate at all, you'll know that they released a patch yesterday, or depending on when this video comes out, maybe 2 days ago, that brought a variety of fixes, added some new ranked playlists, and most important to this video, removed the team social playlist altogether, replacing it with the option to search out certain types of custom games. However, in these custom games you do not gain experience at all, as 1047 Games is worried people could farm experience by killing bots, which is a totally valid concern. The reasoning 1047 gives for removing social is, quote, "Where is Team Social? We got rid of Team Social because it was not a great experience getting thrown into random game modes where everyone likes something different. We now allow players to search by specific game modes, so like Team SWAT, just search for it in the custom browser instead." This has quickly led to tons of players expressing their dislike, as the only way to gain experience now while playing is to play ranked, which, while is enjoyable, is not always what everyone wants to do. Some players do not like playing ranked at all in games, and that's totally fine. And others that do enjoy ranked, like myself, may just want to chill out and play some social, or could be playing with some friends of different skill levels that you wouldn't necessarily want to throw into a ranked game together. So I don't remember the exact number, but I remember reading a story or an article a long time ago from Riot that was talking about the huge percentage of players that literally only play normals or ARAMs, won't ever touch a ranked game. So while 1047 has added in the option to search out custom games, and custom games are enjoyable, they're not a substitute for a social playlist. When they were in addition to the social playlist, they were awesome, as you could go in and set up different game modes to experience with all sorts of things, but not as the only non-ranked experience in the game that provides experience. This would be like back in the day if Halo 3 didn't have any social modes at all. Think of all the fun times you had queuing up for like social big team battle or social rocket race, or any of that stuff. Now, all you have the option is to either play ranked, or invite your friends to a custom game lobby. Although, in this case, technically there would be a custom game browser, so it'd be a little different, but you get the point. So why is this related to games like the culling at all? Well, Splitgate, like I mentioned, is one of those smaller multiplayer games. 1047 is not a big company, and this is the first game they've ever released. It came out of the gate swinging though for a game of its size, hitting a peak player count of over 11,000 players, and having over 100,000 unique players, which I'm sure was awesome for 1047 Games. This morning though, they hit their all-time low with only 165 concurrent players. I'm sure part of this is due to just the game no longer being new, but some of this can definitely be attributed to the patch that they put through. Ever since the patch went live, people have been complaining on Reddit and Twitter, expressing their dislike for the removal of social, so hopefully they listen. So I sort of touched on this in my Splitgate review, but multiplayer games need their casual players along with the more hardcore fans. Your hardcore fans are going to put in the most time and most likely spend the most money. But without the casual fans to boost up the game's numbers and make matchmaking go quicker, the hardcore fans may get fed up with longer queue times and eventually leave themselves. As a small multiplayer game, Splitgate has little room for error. and changes that are widely disliked could cause the game to fall into obscurity. Now, I'm not necessarily saying this one change could be the end of Splitgate, but if 1047 Games continues to make missteps, we could see a game that many of us enjoy playing slowly wither away. If you made it to the end of the video, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed it, toss a like on the video or sub to the channel. I'll also toss some of my socials you can follow me at in the description. And see you next time.